Car myths. All car guys and gals will tell you, do this, don't do this to your car, and you're confused. Is it true or is it false? Well, hello and welcome to the Car Kernel channel. My name is AMD. I'm a master automotive technician specializing in Toyota and Lexus. And in today's video, we're going to talk about some car myths to share with you if they are true or false right after this. The first car myth is, when you use synthetic oil, you cannot go back to regular. Folks, let's talk about this in this way. You went to your local parts store or local oil change place or shop or whoever. They told you all the great benefits of synthetic oil and you decided to switch. Then one day, budget is tight or you're really not seeing the benefits. You decide to go back. They tell you, you cannot go back. Folks, that is a total myth. That is false. This is not correct. That you can switch back and forth as much as you need. And let me tell you this from a shop owner's perspective. I own my own shop. I will tell you this. There's actually absolutely no monetary benefit to me and other shop owners to sell you synthetic oil or regular. It's what your car needs and what you want for your car. To us, it's really the same thing. So pushing synthetic oil, some places will do that, but I just don't see it in the real world. But here's another thing from a mechanical standpoint. Oil is oil. However, synthetic oils have their benefits. They will do what they promise to do. But instead of buying that expensive premium oil, here's my recommendation. The frequency of oil changes. It is a lot more important than the kind of oil you're using, especially in day-to-day cars. In performance cars, yes, the oil is very important, but in day-to-day cars, I'd rather you change that oil more often than buy that very premium synthetic whatever oil. And more importantly, if you don't want to use synthetic and your car doesn't require it, you're welcome to switch back and you will have no issues. Should you turn off your HVAC or more importantly your AC before you shut off your car? Otherwise it'll cause damage. That's what the myth is. Folks, if you own a very old car, and when I say very old car, something before the 1990s, that's possibly the case because of the ancient electronics that they had. But anything 1990s and now basically any car with computer-controlled HVAC or computer-controlled engine management system, you don't actually need to do that. And that is a myth in this case. And here's why. So the idea of you should turn off your compressor or turn off your AC so the compressor would shut off is you do not want an abrupt shut off and then when you start the car that compressor is still engaged and that kind of creates a jarring effect in the AC system. That's actually not the case with modern cars because when you shut off the car, the computer is actually shutting off that compressor or disengaging the clutch before the engine even comes to a full rest. And when it restarts, which is the most important thing, it won't allow the compressor to come on until the engine is idling and it sees that things are safe. Then it kicks on the compressor. But more importantly, did you know that many of the newer cars, they actually don't even have a compressor clutch per se? They have a variable compressor that doesn't even have a clutch. So that really takes that whole myth out of the window. And here's something that I'll advise you to do instead of worrying about shutting off your AC and doing all this. If you have a car with auto AC that is modern, use it because there's so much logic built into that automatic mode that it'll actually do a drying cycle when you shut off the car. Some cars will actually turn on the fan to dry the evaporator because leaving that moisture there not only will cause smells, it actually causes evaporator leaks over time. And the other thing is, if you do not have an automatic AC system, here's what you want to do. You want to kind of duplicate that drying cycle. As you're heading to your final destination, turn off your AC, leave the fan on to dry the AC box, dry your evaporator. That way you don't have that moisture, you won't have smells, and over time you actually will help that evaporator last longer and you won't have that extremely expensive cost of replacing an evaporator. The next one is overfilling your gas tank can cause issues. Folks, this is not a myth. This is 100% correct. And I've done a video explaining in details exactly what happens when you do that. I will leave that up here in the description of the video. But let's talk about a little bit about what that is, because some of you commented on that video that I've been overfilling my tank for years. I never had issues. I will answer that by saying you're lucky, because any car has an evaporative emission system. This is basically 100% of cars made from 1996 all the way to today in the US have an evaporative emission system. It's a federal requirement for cars to be driven on the road. If you overfill that tank once, twice, possibly you will not have issues. And if you overfill it lightly, the pump clicks, you click it again and it stops. That is not overfilling, because I've seen some people really take it to the next level. Basically, the pump clicks, they want to go more, then they'll shake the car and keep adding and adding. They want the fuel to be all the way up to the filler neck. That's not only damaging to the car, it's actually flat out dangerous. Be careful with that. But the benefit of the few extra miles you're gonna get by way overfilling your car are absolutely not worth it when you consider the risk of potential problems. Some of these problems, cost-wise, could rise all the way into the thousands, especially with newer cars and how more complicated the evaporative emission system have gotten. It's not worth it. Don't risk it. You fill up your car, the pump clicks, take it out, be on your way, and you won't have to worry about this at all. The next one is nitrogen-filled tires are the best thing ever happens to cars. Folks, this one is a very interesting one because it is true and false at the same time. Let me explain. So there is something going on with the automotive industry. It's been going on for a bit. They will charge you to put nitrogen in your tires because your gas mileage will be better, the ride will be smoother, your tires won't go flat, and everything is wonderful. Now, 90% of that is a marketing scheme, just to clarify things as they are. The only thing that is true is your tire will lose less air over time with nitrogen than it does with just air. Which, by the way, let's just clarify. Did you know that the air we breathe and we take for granted most of the time actually has 78% nitrogen, or thereabout? That's the first thing. The second thing is the actual number difference between if you put regular air or nitrogen, you will lose 1.3 psi less a year if you put nitrogen. That is not something worth it. And here's the other thing. If you have a sudden temperature change, we went from fall, all of a sudden it's single digit, like it is here in Chicago, that's how the weather likes to be, your tire will drop, nitrogen or not. That's just how it is. So it is not some magic fix-all. Everything else is a marketing scheme. But let's clarify one thing. If you get that nitrogen-filled tire from a tire place, they're adding it for free as a benefit to you, sure, why not? But if they're charging you for it, please don't fall for this one. It is absolutely not worth it. It is something that just one more way to get to charge you for one more thing that has all these marketing benefits that mean nothing. The little difference in how this tire will lose air over time is absolutely not worth it. Never pay for nitrogen, and when you do get nitrogen in your tires, please don't feel panicked every time somebody approaches your tire with regular air, because it's really not going to make a huge difference. Folks, don't pay for nitrogen, and more importantly, instead of doing that, be proactive about checking your tire pressure. First, your tires will last longer. Second, it's safer. Third, your gas mileage will be better. You should make it a habit of checking your tire pressure every time there's a weather change, or better yet, every month or two. The most time you should allow your tires to go without checking the tire pressure in them is 6 months with your semi-annual car service, but try not to do that. Any driver should know how to check their tire pressures. We're not asking you to be a mechanic and fix this and fix that. Check your tire pressure. It will have a huge benefits when you're inflated properly. And one last tip on that, the proper inflation for your tires is on the placard on the door of the car, not on the tire itself. The number that is on the tire itself is the maximum allowed inflation for that tire. I thought I'd mention that because this is very important as well. The next one is a good one, and it's my favorite. I love my car so much that I always use premium fuel because it's better. Folks, this one depends on your car. Does your car require premium fuel? And you'll know it requires premium fuel. It's listed in the owner's manual, or majority of cars that require premium fuel, they'll say it right on the gas door. If your car requires premium fuel, please use it not for reasons equaling your car being a premium car or it's better or superior. No, because it simply requires it. But if your car doesn't require premium fuel, putting premium fuel in it is basically flushing money down the drain. It does absolutely nothing but cost you more. Let me explain further so you really know about this. See, the problem with the naming of the octane rating, regular gas and premium. People, when they hear premium, they feel this is better. Folks, this is a marketing thing. You should look at the number. There's 87 octane, which is referred to as regular. And then there's 91 or 93, which is referred to as premium. But what is this magical octane? Because that does not translate into more pure or better fuel for your car or cleaner. That's not what it is. This is what octane is in a very short manner. The higher the number of octane, the higher pressure it takes this fuel to ignite. The lower the octane, the less pressure it requires for this fuel to ignite. And here's the other short explanation of how that translates into the car. Regular cars that don't have high performance engines, don't have very high compression, they don't generate excessive amounts of heat. Basically, the cars me and you drive to go to work and take our family shopping and do what we do about in our life. These cars do not create high pressure inside their engine where the fuel will just spontaneously combust when it's not supposed to. It's only going to ignite or combust when the spark plug goes. High performance engines, or engines that have high compression, or they generate excessive amount of heat because they are high performance engines. These engines, the temperature and the pressure inside the combustion chamber will be so high that if you put regular fuel or 87 or a lower octane fuel, this fuel will just ignite, pre-ignite when it's not supposed to, and that could cause severe problems. That's why it is essential, if your car requires premium fuel, that you do use premium fuel or 91 or 93 octane. But if your car doesn't require it, you're not doing anything. And here's another myth that follows up to that. People that use premium fuel, they're non-premium fuel requiring car, will say, I get better gas mileage now. There's actually no science behind that, and there's no real evidence of that. The only thing is, you feel better about your car. You start driving it kind of less aggressively because now you're putting this premium fuel, you're trying to take care of your car. And that, I think, is why some people report, and they really stand by it, that you get better gas mileage. Because scientifically, mechanically speaking, there's absolutely no benefit. Please save your money because it's not worth it. If your car takes premium, use premium. If your car takes regular, use regular, and life is good. Folks, this was part 1 of this mini-series. We will have one more part on this. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you are looking for part 2, consider subscribing to the channel and check out some of my other videos. And until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.